Cuthbert Langley has been live this morning. And Cuthbert, right now we've got temperatures that are cold, but it's going to get even colder. How is Metro Schools working to make sure that kids are going to be fine today, and especially at the bus stop tomorrow morning?
Yeah, Leland, so far smooth sailing when it comes down to the school bus routes this morning. We've gotten no reports of any canceled routes, any delayed routes because of the colder temperatures. So that means good news, though, for all of those students. We've seen several kids up and down here to Charlotte Avenue this morning, bundled up, waiting for the bus. But so far, again, no big worries. Metro has been working in overtime to make sure those schools are prepared for this cold burst of air. Let's take a look at how the schools have been prepared. Basically what they did is during winter break, they went through, checked out all of the heating and HVAC systems of several of the schools to make sure those were okay, those were up to snuff. If there were any repairs to be made, those were done over the break. But they also have a system in place as well that will alert the district if there are any HVAC issues or even issues with the pipes as well. You'll remember last Arctic cold blast, this time last year, there were several pipes that burst at several schools, but this year they say they are more prepared than they were, and that system in place will really help them bring crews out to the schools if in fact repairs are needed. There are some flurries starting to come down here again on Charlotte Avenue. We've had several snow showers this morning. Not any big accumulation, obviously, because it's not snowing too hard, but make sure to have the hand warmers. These guys have been my best friend this morning. I've had one going on since 4 o'clock this morning. It's still hot. Those will become, no doubt, very much needed as we head into tomorrow. So again, no big worries so far, but Metro schools say they are prepared in case anything happens. Reporting live here in downtown Nashville this morning, I'm Cuthbert Langley, News Channel 5 HD.
Cuthbert, thank you for the update. Stay warm out there. Also, some of our other top stories, a family having to find a new place to live after their home went up in flames overnight. It happened on Brick Church Pike around 10 o'clock. 3 adults and 2 kids were inside. Luckily, they made it out all right. Unfortunately, the house is not in such great shape. It's no longer livable. 13-year-old Ciasia Watkins was sleeping at her grandmother's house in Lebanon when gunmen opened fire and struck that teen early yesterday morning. 20 bullets hitting the house. Police say that home was targeted. The teen, however, was not the intended victim. Ciasia is now in critical condition at Vanderbilt. And another update in the Holly Bobo murder case. There is a new DA on the job. Yesterday, Shelby County Deputy District Attorney Jennifer Nichols was assigned to that case. Both Jason Autry and Zach Adams are set to appear later this month. No word yet on how the new prosecutor might affect those court dates. A dad's in big trouble this morning after police say they found several drugs and weapons inside his South Nashville home. News Channel 5's Matthew Torres is at the CJC working this one, and the suspect's young son was nearby. Right, Matthew?
Yeah, he was, which was pretty startling for Metro housing officers to notice as soon as they busted this apartment residence. This happened yesterday afternoon after they received a drug and gun complaint. Whenever they first arrived, the suspect wouldn't let the officers in, but whenever they smelled marijuana, that's when they obtained a search warrant. And as soon as they arrived, that's when they were able to find 22 grams of marijuana. But really, this is just one of the few items found. Police said the suspect, 29-year-old Seth Taylor, also had 3 handguns tucked away in the couch. 2 of them were loaded. There was also a rifle inside the bedroom. They also found 3 bags of marijuana weighing at about 90 grams. That's on top of the 22 grams they found earlier. And he also had nearly $2,500 in cash, a glass pipe, a bong, and a scale. Now, this complex was near a school, which can be startling for some parents, 1,000 feet away from Cameron Middle School to be exact. Again, the 9-year-old son was nearby all of these items, as well as a drug deal that took place before officers arrived. Taylor admitted to the officers that he purchased marijuana just before they came knocking on the door. As of now, we don't know what will happen to that son, but at last check, he is still in jail. Taylor is in jail, held on a $37,000 bond. That's it for now. We're reporting live outside the Criminal Justice Center. I'm Matthew Torres, News Channel 5 HD.
Matthew, thank you. And a getaway fails after 2 wanted felons end up crashing their SUV trying to outrun police. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office says the driver and passenger sped off when a deputy pulled them over in Clarksville. The driver lost control of the SUV, hit a curb and flipped. Jacob Ritchie was taken into custody, and his passenger, Brandy Smith, had to be pulled from the SUV. Her injuries weren't serious. She was booked after she was released from the hospital.
Also in Montgomery County this morning, a man wanted for domestic assault was arrested after a canine had to chase him down. Police say it began when they responded to a 911 call and noticed that a woman had some bruises on her face. She told police that Christopher Wasson assaulted her the day before. Police began searching for him in the woods near the home and called the canines to catch him. Wasson faces aggravated domestic assault and false imprisonment charges. He's also wanted in another state. He's being held on a more than $300,000 bond. Amy?
Well, as if worrying about the flu isn't bad enough, another virus has hit epidemic levels here in Nashville, and you need to know about it to protect your family. It is called RSV, and while it only causes cold-like symptoms in adults, it is much more serious for babies and small children. It can be fatal. Pediatricians at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital say this season has been more severe than usual, and it gets worse when children return to school.
Once they get back in school and they get confined in those closed quarters in school, you get the viruses spread, germs spread, and more disease.
There is no vaccine for RSV and no cure for it. Doctors say just keep an eye on your kids. If they start having difficulty breathing, it's time to call your doctor. Meanwhile, one mid-state student has been diagnosed with a serious lung disease. Officials from the Rutherford County School District notified parents yesterday that a student at Smyrna High School tested positive for tuberculosis. District leaders are urging families not to panic. Health department officials say the risk for transmission is low, and the department will handle any TB testing as needed. And the school district has put information about that disease on their website, and you can see that by visiting ours, newschannel5.com. Also, if you're worried about catching the flu this season, St. Thomas Rutherford is here to help. They're offering free flu shot clinics today at the Journey Home. You can stop by anytime from 8 in the morning until noon. The shots are free and available on a first-come, first-served basis. They're going to give shots to kids, but your kids must be at least 3 years old, and the parents or guardians have to be with them. Meanwhile, if you're here in Nashville, Metro is also offering free flu shots. We've got that information on our website at newschannel5.com.